Yo. Yo. Yo.
Welcome to the 188th Wing Podcast, where you get your in-depth information about what's happening in your wing. I'm Master Sergeant Chauncey Reed, and I'm here today with our new wing commander, Colonel Jay Spohn, and recruiter Tech Sergeant Ana Bullock. We're going to learn a little bit about Colonel Spohn and talk a bit about things going on around the base. But first, let's start with some simple introductions.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tech Sergeant Ana Bullock. I'm with the 188th Wing. I am a recruiter here right now.
And hey, everybody, I'm Colonel Jay Spohn. I'm joining the 188th as the new commander. Took over last week on Valentine's Day. And I'm coming here from the Alabama Air National Guard, where I was the deputy of the 187th Fighter Wing. And fun fact, I was in the 188th before, from March of 07 to December of 09, as the wing weapons officer and an A-10 instructor pilot. And I'm here as a temporary AGR, full-time commander from now until August of 2024, so about 6 months. And after that, I will be a dual status technician and return to my airline, be about 3/4 of full-time here at the Air National Guard, so about 3 weeks a month, and about 1 week a month flying for my airline. Happy to be here.
So during that period, when you're not here, what happens and who runs the show?
Oh, that's a great question, and I'm glad you asked. And that's precisely why a wing has a deputy commander. The deputy commander is not the wing commander's assistant or secretary or anything like that. The deputy wing commander is there solely to be the wing commander when the wing commander is out of town or not available. So we've got a great deputy commander, Colonel Kip Parker, and fully confident that in those times that I will not be available, which hopefully will be very few, but when those times do happen, Kip will be here and will be a very able wing commander in my stead. So happy to have him.
Cool. I've worked with Kip, so Colonel Parker, he's awesome.
Let's just jump right into this and learn a little bit about you, sir. To start off with, what motivated you to join the Air Force in the first place?
Well, I've always been, even as a little kid, I've always been a history buff. Military history always kind of jumped out to me as really interesting. So I always read a lot of military history books and, watched things, read things about that. And when I was 11 years old, Top Gun came out. And so I saw Top Gun, and that was obviously in the military, and I said, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to fly fighter airplanes just like they're doing in Top Gun. I didn't really know any fighter pilots, had never met one. Nobody in my family knew one or had ever met one. So I joined the Civil Air Patrol just as kind of a way to kind of get into that, at least get some exposure to that career field. And my Civil Air Patrol unit met at a guard base, the 177th Fighter Wing in Atlantic City, New Jersey. And that's where I learned that the Guard can send people to pilot training. So you could go to college, and then you could get commissioned and go to pilot training and fly in the Air National Guard. And I was sold after that. So that became my objective, to fly fighters in the Air National Guard. And I was fortunate enough to be able to pull that off. So here we are.
What did you start off flying?
I started off in the A-10 in the Pennsylvania Air National Guard, Willow Grove. It's now the 111th Attack Wing in Horsham, Pennsylvania. That unit was going to lose its A-10s as part of BRAC 2005. Mm-hmm. That same BRAC was going to convert the 188th from F-16s to A-10s. And so the wing commander and squadron commander here at the time, Colonel J.R. Dallas, and Lieutenant Colonel Clark Walker asked me if I was interested in coming down here to be the weapons officer for their conversion. I was going through weapons school in the A-10 at the time. As my unit was closing and I was going to be out of a job, I was very interested in that, and so I came down here in 2007, right before the first A-10s got here. There were still F-16s on the ramp, and then went from there and was here for the majority of the A-10 conversion. I left right before the first deployment in the A-10.
Anna, is Top Gun the reason you joined the Air Force too?
Now watching Top Gun, I'm like, man, I wish I could have taken this step to become a pilot. It's pretty cool, but no, I joined for educational reasons mainly.
As long as we're talking about airframes and such, I believe you were the first Air National Guard F-35 pilot. Is that right?
That's true. While I was the weapons officer here, I applied for the F-35 initial cadre selection, and was fortunate enough to get selected. So I left the 188th back in 2009 to go to the F-35 program. An interim step there was because I hadn't flown any air-to-air. I had not flown an air-to-air fighter or a multi-role fighter. I'd only flown an air-to-ground airplane in the A-10. They qualified me in the F-15C Eagle, so I flew that. When I immediately left here, I flew that for about 2.5 years and went to Eglin Air Force Base where we were standing up the initial F-35 unit. And so I was the very first Guard pilot to check out in the F-35, which was a great experience. It was a great experience for my family to be involved in that program. I made some lifelong friends there, and friends that I have run back into now since I recently requalified in the F-35 in my previous unit.
Lots of experience. We love it.
So, as the wing commander, what do you see your purpose, and what kind of goals do you have?
Well, I mean, I think my purpose is pretty simple. It might be difficult, but it's a pretty simple purpose: is to just lead the wing, and I view that as making sure that the wing members in all the groups and all the squadrons have what they need to get after the mission, and so making sure they have the resources, the training, the equipment, things like that that they need to continue to do the mission at the high level that they're already doing that, and to be ready to continue to do that mission as the fight changes. So as we start to face pacing threats, peer adversaries, that we have the equipment and the resources and the training to figure out how we're going to fight those new fights. And so that's my job as the wing commander. And then finally, to take obstacles out of the way of the unit members so they don't have to worry about how they're going to get paid or how their computers are going to work or when the leak in their building is going to get fixed, et cetera. Just take obstacles off of their plate so that they can concentrate on the mission, getting ready for today's mission and ready for tomorrow's mission. And then goals. My goal is pretty simple. I want to leave the 188th better than it was the day I got here. That's going to be a tall order because the 188th was in great shape the day that I got here, and that's a testament to the commanders that came before me. They have left the 188th in amazing condition. We're experts all across the board, all the different missions that we do. So it's going to be tough to leave it better than I found it, but that's my goal, is to continue to work with the great people here to elevate us and to have us even better than when I got here.
Awesome. So as a wing commander, what would you say are the most significant challenges and responsibilities you would face in your role?
I would say the biggest challenge is one that everybody in the 188th faces. The 188th is extremely busy. Right, and I can tell you, having just 2 weeks ago, I was in a different wing, right, and I got here, and I thought that wing was pretty busy. I thought we had a lot going on. There is much more going on here than there was going on at my previous base. So that is the challenge that I would say we all face as 188th members, is dealing with all of the different things that we have going on. Right, we've got the MQ-9 mission, the ISR mission. We're bedding down foreign military sales, F-35 and F-16, standing back up a flying operation that's been gone for 10 years from the base. And all of those things touch almost every place on the base. And so whether you're in security forces or, personnel or the med group or the ISRG, the ops group, et cetera, you've got a piece of all of those missions in some way or another. And so that's the biggest challenge, is how do we get after those missions, but also take care of ourselves, take care of yourself, your family, your teammates. How do your teammates help take care of you, et cetera? So that's a huge challenge. And I would say my role in that as the wing commander is to it's easy as the person with the boots on the ground to lose sight of taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, taking care of your teammates. And I view my role as the person who every now and then needs to pull things back, to slow things down, to make sure that we're taking care of each other, and that we're in the fight, not just today, but we're in the fight a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, long after probably all of us are gone, that the airmen are still able to get after the fight because we haven't burned them out. So I would say that's the biggest challenge is making sure that we keep ourselves. We're busy, but let's not burn each other out,
Sure.
As long as we're talking about taking care of airmen and their families, what do you expect from the 188th Wing Airmen?
Oh, first and foremost, and maybe this is a little non-standard, first and foremost, I expect you to take care of yourself and to take care of your family. That should be more important to you than it is to anybody else, right? Taking care of yourself and your own family should be your top priority. And so I expect all of our airmen to do that, to take time for themselves, to take time for their family. I intend to do that. I intend to tell everybody that I talk to do that. And you need to be proactive about that. You need to schedule time to go to the gym. If you look at my calendar, it has gym time on it. It has lunchtime on it, right? So you need to schedule. If you're busy, you need to schedule time to do things like that. And you need to take the time when you have it to take care of your family. You won't always have time to go to your son's baseball game or your daughter's volleyball game or your grandkids' program at school. You won't always have time to do those things, but when you have the time, do those things. Too often, I know I have in my career, too often I've not done those things when I could have, and then when I'm getting to the place that I'm burned out or I've missed a lot of things, I don't have the time to do those things because we happen to be in a busy phase or we're deployed or whatever the case might be. So you need to take the time when you have it to do those things, to go to those significant family events and things of that nature. The next thing I expect 188th Airmen to do is to take care of your teammates. So a lot of people, myself included, aren't great at taking care of themselves. So keep an eye out on your wingman, your battle buddy, however you want to refer to that, and make sure that they're getting some rest and recuperation and some gym time, some food, that they're spending time with their families or their friends if they're not doing that for themselves. So take care of your buddy. And then third, tell your story. I'm sure it's near and dear to your heart, bringing people into the unit, right? So get out there and tell your story. Tell what's going on here at the 188th, what's happening on this base. What are you doing on this base? A lot of times, every guard unit I've ever been in, if you go a mile away, you can find somebody who doesn't even know there's a guard unit there, right? Which seems crazy, but it always happens, right?
Well, it even got worse when airplanes went away.
Right, right. You don't even hear the airplanes anymore. So get out there and make sure that the people at your kid's school or the people at your church or the people at the gym you go to know what you do. Know what you do out here for the 188th. Know what the 188th does, and that'll make people want to be here, want to come in and see what we're about, and some of them will want to join.
I agree.
And then the last thing, the first thing that really has to do with doing your job is to be an expert at your job. So whatever your role is on the base, be good at it. Know the latest and greatest about how to do your job to the highest level, and do that. Learn those things and be good at those things. Be an expert at your job. And if we're all taken care of, we're all out there telling our story and bringing new people in, and we're all experts at our job, we're going to be pretty awesome.
Agree. The mission comes first, but take care of yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So you can do the mission. And,
absolutely.
We can be excellent at what we do, and we can continue.
Yeah, if you burn out, you're not going to be doing the mission anyway, right? Because you're going to get out, or you're going to be hurt, not able to deploy, not able to do the mission. So, taking care of the airmen, and you're an airman, so taking care of yourself first, and then taking care of everybody around you. That should be job one, or nobody's going to be doing the mission.
We're talking about getting out there and telling everybody what we do. Do you got any tips for us, Anna?
Man, I mean, everywhere I go, I'm passing out business cards and talking about the Air National Guard. So, especially like fast food places or Walmart cart pushers, you just have to get the Air National Guard's name out there. Like you said, we don't have aircraft now, so no one knows that the Air National Guard is still around. They always still say, "Are you guys located at Chaffee?" Whenever I start off a presentation, that's the first thing I ask. Do you guys know where the Air National Guard base in Fort Smith is located? Everyone's just like, Chaffee. I'm like, no. Do you know where Phoenix Avenue is in that Home Depot? We're right across the street from there with that big water tower. I said, that's where we're located. We still have a mission going on, and I continue to talk about the mission, what we have going on. But just starting that casual conversation, like, how long have you worked here, and just ease on into, what the Air National Guard can do for you, because what it's done for me, it's always a story to tell.
With the new base plan and moving airplane statics out there, maybe that'll help a little bit.
Yeah, or at least get their attention. Well, and there will be jet noise back here again before too long. By the end of 2024, we will have airplanes on the ramp. And while it's true that the majority of our mission won't be flying those F-35s, flying those F-16s, I think to your point, Chauncey, it will draw some attention to the base. And when people come out here to see what's happening out on the flight line, we can tell them what's happening inside the gate, and that's pretty awesome to get people exposed to what all we're doing with the ISR mission and the MQ-9s and all that. So,
yeah, I honestly believe that when someone understands the impact that they can have with our mission and being a part of it, it becomes way more interesting. Instead of going to drill and training to do something that you might do one day, it's like you come here and you become an operational force right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're a sustained operational force now with this mission, with the ISR and the attack mission. We are a sustained operational force, and that's different from the fighter mission, right? Like the fighter mission is more fun to look at, I suppose, and in, every 2 to 3 years, the fighter mission goes down range for 3 to 4 months and does the business. And that's awesome. And you need that. And that's what I've spent my whole career doing. But the MQ-9 and the ISR mission is happening on this base every single day of the year, 24/7, 365. And that is definitely something that the people outside the gate don't know about. And I think that, if you tell them that story, when you come onto the base, whether you're a civil engineer, security forces, you're going to be supporting the mission every day you come to work, and that's pretty awesome. And there's not a lot of missions in the Guard where you can say that, and we for sure can say that here.
Well, coming back to Ebbing International Guard Base, what do you think of the base since you left?
There are some familiar faces from when I left. Maybe 10, 20% of the people are the same as when I was here before. But it's a lot of new faces for sure. It's a different mission than when I left. We were still flying A-10s when I left here. And there's a lot of construction going on, obviously. So and a lot more to come. So the base looks a lot different. There's a lot of new buildings already, new buildings that were built for the ISR mission. And there's about to be a lot more new buildings. So it definitely looks different. But, it's funny, even though the mission is different, a lot of the people are different. It still has the same feel that it had back in the day, the same family feel of, family history here at the unit, where a lot of people on this base, their parents were in the unit, their grandparents were in the unit. And I remember that last time when I came here in 2007, I was coming here from Pennsylvania, and I wasn't from here. I didn't have any family members that were here, but a lot of unit members did. And you immediately get brought into that family, even though you're not from here. And before long, you feel like you're part of that family too. And it's been unique in my Guard career. I haven't felt that anywhere else that I've been. And I remember thinking, well, that's probably not the same anymore at Fort Smith because of all the changes. And when I got back, it's still the same. I still get that same feeling that I got in 2007 when I got here as a captain. All the family ties around the unit, and that's really cool that has persisted even through all the changes. And so I think it really makes us a unique place in the Guard, and one that I hope a lot more people find out about.
Well, I got to ask, because I'm just a geek, I guess. What's it like flying an F-35?
Oh, yeah.
It's great. So I've got two different experiences with the F-35. I flew it when it was brand new, back in 2012 was the first time I flew it from 12 to 14. And then I checked back out in it in 2023.
That's back whenever they had the memes going around about the AI and the F-35.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
and it was, back then it was new, and we knew every new airplane is like this, but the F-35 back then when it was brand new had its share of glitches. Let's just say, a lot of things didn't work, or they didn't work how they were supposed to, and that's that wasn't a surprise. It was brand new. It was being tested at the time. And so a lot of times it was frustrating back then flying the airplane when it wouldn't do the things that you wanted it to do and things like that. But it was really cool. I was the third non-test pilot that checked out in the airplane for the Air Force. So it was cool to look around and be one of the few people that was flying that airplane, right? And then I left in 2014. I flew the F-16 in the interim and went back in 2023. And all of that stuff, the cool aspect or the rarity was all gone. There were thousands of F-35 pilots, hundreds of F-35s out there. And so it wasn't a unique, cool experience anymore. It was just another airplane when I checked back out in it in 2023. But it was amazing to see the airplane able to do all of the things that, we used to call it the glossy brochure back in 2012, 2014. The things the brochure said the airplane could do. Well, it could do all of them when I came back in 2023. So that was really cool to see that, to see the airplane at the very beginning stages and then see the fielded combat asset, that it is today. And it really made me appreciate, all of the years or decades really of work that went into making that airplane what it is today. So it's cool to have seen that, lineage of the F-35, if you will, or that progression of the F-35 over, 15 years. So it was really neat.
So F-16, F-35, or F-22?
Well, I've never flown the F-22, so I guess I'll throw that one out. No, if I had to just go, rip around and have fun, I would probably fly the F-16 one more time. It's a total sports car.
Oh, wow.
It's small. You kind of fit right in there, and it's got a ton of power when it doesn't have a lot of bombs or fuel tanks hanging on it. It's got just awesome maneuverability. If I had to go fight somebody, though, I'd want to be in an F-35 10 times out of 10. But it is absolutely at the next level compared to the F-16 with what it can do in combat. So no doubt, if I had to go do the mission, I would want to be in an F-35, bar none.
All right, sir. So what are some leadership principles or philosophies that guide you in your decision-making as far as interactions with your team members?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say my number one leadership principle is to lead by example, right? So as we talked about before, I want every airman in the 188th to take care of themselves, to take care of their teammates, take care of their families. So lead by example, right? If you're the commander, you should be getting your workouts in. You should be eating lunch. You should be spending time with your family. Don't not do the mission to do those things, but you can find time in the day to do those things, to take care of yourself, right? So I want you to lead by example. And if you do those things, your airmen are going to do those things, right? If you're taking care of yourself, your airmen are going to take care of themselves. If you're taking care of your teammates, your airmen are going to take care of their teammates. And so that's what I want you to do, is lead by example. I want you to be an expert in your job. I want all of the airmen to be experts in their job. And so you as the commander, should be an expert at your job. And so I expect that. And if you do those things, if you set that standard, your airmen are going to see that, and they're going to adhere to that standard. So that's the biggest one, is to lead by example. And then the two kind of subordinate ones to that, I would say, are loyalty. So I want you to be have each other's backs, if you will, right? So take care of the people on your team. If somebody on your team isn't carrying their weight, I don't want you to walk across the hall and complain about that person, or come into your commander's office and complain about that person. I want you to go into that person's office who isn't carrying their weight and talk to them about it. Maybe they need some help. Maybe they're having some issues in their life, that you can help with. So be loyal to each other, and that creates a team. If we're all loyal to each other, and we're not complaining or griping about each other behind each other's backs, but we're helping each other, we're building each other up, we're getting each other through the rough patches, then that's going to help everybody, and that makes a productive team. And then the last one is goes right along with that, and that's trust. So as a commander, I have to trust that the group commanders below me, that they're experts in their job, and they're able to lead their airmen as experts in their job, and because I can't do their jobs for them, right? I can't run the mission support group or the med group, or I can't be the chief of the civil engineering squadron. I can't do those things because I'm not an expert in those jobs, right? So I need to trust that the commanders, that the group commanders and the squadron commanders are experts in their job. And that's what I want everybody else to do, right? If you're a group commander, I want you to trust that your squadron commanders are experts at their job. If you're a squadron commander, I want you to trust that the team leads and people working for you are experts at their job, and not meddle in their jobs, right? Obviously you need to supervise what's happening. That's your job as a commander, is to supervise and to help where needed. But you got to trust the people that work for you and let them do their job, let them innovate. And that's the thing as we get ready for peer competition. Tomorrow's fight isn't going to look like yesterday's fight. And there's going to be things that we need to do when we fight a peer adversary or a pacing threat that we're not doing right now. And we're going to figure those things out by innovation. And quite frankly, innovation usually comes from young people, right? Young people usually figure out new ways of doing things because they're not tied to the old ways, right? And if you don't have trust that your young people are out there in the best interests of the mission, the best interests of the unit, and the best interests of their teammates, then they're never going to innovate, because you're never going to let them. So you need to trust people that they're going to do their jobs, that when they innovate, even if it doesn't work out, they did it for a good reason. And and you need to provide boundaries for that as the commander, but you need to trust those people to go out there and find new ways of doing business, because we're going to need that as we go forward, because we don't know what we're going to need to do when tomorrow's fight happens.
I still identify as a young man.
Yeah, me too. It's just not true anymore.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, man.
Well,
do you have a message for the 188th, family,
that was the last thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate how excited I am to be here, to be back, to the unit where I, really was very formative in my career. I came here as a young captain, and I learned how to be a good weapons officer here, how to be a good instructor here, things that were very important to me early in my career. And it's really outstanding to be back now. And I just want the 188th Airmen to know that how excited I am to be here, and how proud I am of the mission that's happening here today, and how excited I am to see that mission grow and to see the new missions get bedded down here with the F-35 and the F-16, and that that I'm here as your commander. Let me know how I can help. What can I do to make the ISR mission, the MQ-9 mission, better today, and to set those missions up for success in the future? And how can I help those airmen that are helping bring that new mission on board. So we're very fortunate to not only have an awesome mission today and into the future, but we're very fortunate to get a new mission coming in that's going to augment those other things. So I'm excited to be here. I hope everybody else is excited to be here as well, because it's an awesome place to be. And let me know how I can help.
Definitely excited about having you here. So welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lots of good things going forward.
Absolutely. It's a great place to be. So get out there and tell everybody how awesome it is here, and let's get some more people in the unit. No better place.
Oh,
No better place.
That's right.
There's no better place than the Guard, and in the Guard, no better place than the 188th Wing.
That's right. Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, TSgt Bullock.
it's fine.
And thank you all for listening. That's it for this month's 188th Wing podcast. We will have a new episode released each week of drill, so keep a lookout and join us next time.